Arcadian Vanguard presents The Wrestling News and your daily wrestling newscast for Thursday, October 12th, 2023. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with the results of Tuesday night's ratings war between NXT and AEW Dynamite. NXT came out ahead for the evening with WrestleNomics reporting a total viewership of 921,000 viewers on USA Network, more than 50% greater than Dynamite's 609,000 total viewership on TBS. NXT also led the key 18 to 49-year-old demographic with a rating of .30 ahead of Dynamite's .26 key demo rating. Tuesday night marked the largest total audience in key demo rating for NXT since 2019. It also demonstrated a 7% audience increase from last week and 37% key demo increase. Meanwhile, Dynamite, airing in an unusual Tuesday night time slot due to postseason baseball Wednesday night on TBS, experienced a nearly 25% drop from last week's total audience and a 5% drop in the key demo rating. In CM Punk news, several reports have now confirmed that, in contradiction to previous rumors that have been circulating, WWE does not have interest in bringing back CM Punk, and there are no current ongoing talks between the two parties. In a report from Fightful, sources within WWE denied that any talks were currently taking place. Dave Meltzer reported on Wrestling Observer Radio that Punk had expressed interest in returning to WWE after being released from AEW, but was turned down in a decision attributed to Vince McMahon, Nick Khan, and Paul Levesque. With Survivor Series taking place next month in Punk's hometown of Chicago, there had been rampant speculation on a possible Punk return to WWE. AEW is taking flack for an angle that aired on last Tuesday's Dynamite involving AEW World Champion Maxwell Jacob Friedman. The angle involved Juice Robinson of Bullet Club Gold threatening MJF with a roll of quarters with his name on it, and was a callback to comments made by Friedman, who was Jewish, about anti-Semitic bullying he experienced in his youth, in which children would throw quarters at him. The incident was reportedly pre-approved by both Robinson and MJF, and in part also references Robinson's history of using rolls of quarters as foreign objects, but nevertheless was interpreted by many critics as overtly anti-Semitic and especially poorly timed given the recent terrorist attack by Hamas against Israel. MJF defended the angle yesterday on Twitter, writing, quote, "I'm actually Jewish. I've actually gone through this. This is my real life, my story, and I look forward to giving catharsis to every single person who's ever been oppressed or bullied. If you think I'd play with that or take it lying down, or worst of all, hide from the hard conversations like a coward, you're on crazy pills. I look forward to the hard conversations this starts and creates," end quote. In legal news, AEW has settled out of court with mask manufacturer Composite Effects over a dispute regarding the rights to the design of Luchasaurus's mask, which was created by Composite Effects. The mask company objected to AEW's merchandising of its Luchasaurus mask design without their permission, which Composite Effects charged was a breach of the contract between the two companies. AEW had originally attempted to have the case dismissed, but that request was denied. And in National Wrestling Alliance news, Mims had been the holder of the NWA World Television Championship since an NWA TV taping in Nashville on August 29th, but that match finally aired this week on NWA Power, making the title change official. Mims defeated Zicky Dice in 6 minutes and 1 second in the match, which was a final of the tournament intended to crown a new NWA World TV Champion after the title was vacated by Tom Latimer. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the wrestling news. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.